great. Oh my goodness. I was talking everybody and I thought I was live, but I wasn't. I was here talking to myself for 13 minutes. My goodness. Well. Chatter. Healthy Bite Girl. You need to get your stuff together. Wow. I was actually talking to myself. I can't believe this. Hi everyone, this is your Healthy Bite Girl. Looks like I'm gonna have to start over again because I thought I was live and I wasn't. It's 13 minutes of talking to myself. I'm not late, I was early, about 2 minutes. So let's do this again. Oh Lord. Okay. Rewind my selector. Okay. We were talking about parasites. Today's topic is parasites. Okay, so I'm excited to talk about parasites today. We're going to talk about what they are, where they come from, and symptoms and how to get rid of them. Okay, so let's dive right in again. So basically parasites, they're living organisms and they depend on another organism known as a host to survive and thrive. Now they come in many different forms such as worms, protozoa, insects. Now they can live on the surface. Oh gosh, I think I'm getting bitten. They can live on the surface of the host. So it could be, on your skin, internally, taking advantage of your resources without even giving anything back. That's kind of like how parasites react to the host. They feed off the nutrients and energy from the host body, and often causing harm in the process. Okay, so parasites, they come from various means. Vegetables that are not cooked properly, raw fish, like things like sushis. And you want to make sure you wash your hands after, that's just common knowledge, hopefully. Wash your hands before you eat, with soap, preferably, definitely. And because what? You probably came off the road and you probably touched a knob in public, which I never do personally, but touch a knob in public, and the persons before you came from the bathroom and didn't wash their hands, and maybe their hands touched their feces, and then they put it on there, and then you go touch that knob, and then you go touch your face, and then it enters into your eyes, and then boom, you have parasites. So yeah, you want to watch out for that. Get it from pets, bee stings, mites, things like that. So you can get it from your uncooked meats. They're going to reside in there naturally. So you're going to make sure you be cautious of that. Types of parasites. We have the protozoa parasites. And these ones, they're basically one-celled organisms, and they feed on bacteria, algae, and other protozoans or organic debris. So it can multiply in humans, and they can actually go from human to human. And that one there was the protozoa. And I'll do another check mark for the second time around. This is to prove that I started the presentation by myself, talking to myself. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, then you have the helminths, and that's like flatworm, things like that. And those ones are definitely oxygen robbing. They're not nice. Then you have the ones down here, like the ticks, the mites, scabies, mosquitoes, lice. Someone's losing hair, they say, oh, it's probably just old age. And that's one of my pet peeves, when people age themselves with their words. My aches in my joints, probably old age. But when really you could be having a mineral deficiency, or you could even have parasites residing in your joints. And that's not even a joke. That's a thing. So you want to take that into consideration. When you're traveling, you want to kind of suss out. Hold on. I'll just keep talking. You want to kind of suss out the status of the water and all that. I hope I have a good connection here. I'm just in the backyard. I just cannot resist a nice day and to sit behind a desk talking to you all. So we're gonna have some interesting we're going to have some interesting shows this summer, this year, and I'm excited about that. If we can get these parasites out of us, that would be great. I want to show the different types of parasites that can, where in the body they can actually reside. I had to put the phone down for a second. So you remember last week when I said I don't like to sit and not, I'm like a visual learner, so I want to figure out a way how to have a whiteboard and go live. And this is the way I figured it out. I'm going to kick it old school. I'm going to write whatever I want to write, just like this. This is my whiteboard. Okay? So we kicking it old school. So parasites can actually be residing in the brain. They can cause memory issues. They can reside in the eyes, ocular larvae, the lymphatic system. Sometimes you see swelling. You think it's edema. It can actually pose as lymphatic parasites in the lymphatic system. And I want to teach you guys how to do lymphatic drainage. And it's important that you also do sweat because it can cause congestion. And also parasites can reside in the lungs. So sometimes you have a cough, you're wheezing or congestion. Sometimes you just attribute it to having allergies, or it's that season. That could possibly be a histamine issues, and you do have allergies, but then again, there are other reasons, and we don't want to close those out. And, they can be liver flukes. They can clog up your bile ducts, cause constipation, bloating. It can be the intestines, different. It could be in your muscles. So if you have muscle aches, don't let the first thing be, oh, I'm just getting old. Oh, stop that. Young forever, right? I'm just going to take a sip of my water. It's so beautiful out here. And then blood. This is the thing. This here. When you have certain parasites, they can actually eat your blood cells. And that can cause anemia. And, sometimes we're just piling up on taking iron pills, and we're not even taking the correct cofactors and getting rid of the actual underlying issue. Of course, there's other issues to anemia, not just parasites, but that's one factor that's often overlooked. And then joints. Again, don't say, oh, my joints are hurting. I get old. Okay, you wanna think about the fact that it could be parasites. This is the thing. It's not a joke. It could be in the joints and on the skin. You can have itchy skin. You could have, eczema. One of the causes. Eczema has so many different underlying causes, but that could definitely be one reason. And there are different ways to get rid of it, but actually, before I get into how to get rid of them, I want to show you some pictures of some parasites. How about that? How about that? Okay, so you have different forms of parasite. This one's residing on the skin. So do you see? You can see up close the skin, and you can probably never even notice this is residing on your skin, eh? Like, these are ectoparasites. They're a class of parasites, and they live on the skin of a host. Right? They can also be blood sucking, which is no good. So we don't want this type of stuff inside of us or on us. And then this is a common one, the tapeworm. It usually can be as long as 4 to 12 meters in length. It can even grow as large as 25 meters. It can even produce hundreds and thousands of eggs. Can you imagine? Okay. Now this next one, like the face of it. Hold on. Now this one, they could, cause like diarrhea, colon inflammation, things like that. And look at that. Yeah, but not to worry, we can get rid of them, right? Now there's different signs and symptoms. Okay, you know what? I don't want to keep it on that image, so I'm going to put it back to the other image. There's different signs and symptoms of having parasites. Sometimes you don't even know because they mask themselves in the form of a flu, a cold, a cough. You could have memory issues, depression, tiredness, restlessness. Sometimes a child would just itch their anus. You can have indigestion, rings around the eyes. And rings around the eyes, immediately someone may think it's anemia because that's also a symptom of anemia. But then now it's to find the cause. If somebody's not having some sort of heavy bleeding, and they have low iron, you want to look at parasites. You want to look at kidney function because the kidney is also responsible for metabolizing iron. You want to look at different things. If their copper balance, because that's also involved in the metabolism of iron. So sometimes you even have brain fog, things like that, headaches, menstrual irregularities, heart inflammation, flatulence, fatigue, vomiting, bloating, you name it. Just pneumonia, joint, like I said earlier, I said joint pains. What else? There's just a lot of issues, a lot of different characteristics where the parasites are masking. Also, I want to talk about cysts, a little bit about cysts, because usually cysts are filled with liquid or like a semi-solid substance that has pus. Now the cyst is isolated from the normal bloodstream, making it difficult to treat with like conventional medicines because it's just going to bypass. That's why you need things that are actually going to cross the blood-brain barrier and help to eradicate these parasites. We don't want you feeling uncomfortable, and that's just one reason for cysts. Cysts can be iodine deficiency, hormonal imbalance. It can be so many different issues, but today we're talking about parasites. Oh. Okay, and yeah, so we've talked about what they are, how they thrive off the host, where they can come from, how to prevent, parasites. Forget about the raw sushis and stuff like that. If you're going to do that, just make sure you take your steps into eradicating them, right? And now we're going to talk a little bit about how to get rid of them. Thank you for joining, everyone, whoever is here. I appreciate your time. It's so beautiful out here. It's just a different vibe doing the show outside. That's how it's going to be 80% of the time. The other 20% is when I'm going to interview some of my colleagues in the health industry, or who I'm going to be interviewing quite a few people that very interesting surprises. So that's going to be interesting, and that I will take it to the office because just for better sound and connection. Anyway, so let's talk about how to get rid of them. I'm going to mention some things. First of all, when I talk about sacred clays, man, I wish I'm out of clays. That'd be so great if I could have shown you guys some, but I will. I'll get to that when my new batch comes in the mail. And you have clays like smectite, rectorite, ormalite, bentonite. These are sacred clays that make you feel great. And that's important because when in a stressed body, sometimes it's difficult to heal. And when you can have a little bit of assistance from nature in terms of improving mood and making, the whole area and intestines inviting to be healed. So those are sacred clays. And hydrogen, double oxygen. These things parasites don't like. Iodine. So these type of minerals are very protective, right? So when you have, say, Lugol's iodine, it's basically a liquid solution containing potassium iodide. That's what it is. And it's used for antiseptic and disinfectant. Sometimes when you have a cut, you put iodine on it. I'm not talking about that one, but it's similar, but it's more pure. You're looking for the food grade, right? Lugol's basically. And the iodine, the potassium iodide, has antimicrobial properties, so it can disrupt the life cycle of certain parasites. Okay, so it can disrupt the life cycle of certain parasites, and that's important. It can, and also bacteria, fungi, by interfering with their cellular functions. So when Lugol's is ingested or applied topically, it can come into contact with parasites and, let them know it's time to leave, right? That's one of my favorites. And if you're going the herbal route, things like wormwood, clove, which has like the highest ORAC level of any essential oil. So, wormwood, clove, those ones are very potent. You have Goldenseal as well. And these, black walnut, right? And again, these are anti-parasitic. But the thing with herbs, though, that's not my first go-to. I mean, at one point it was. A lot of herbs nowadays are contaminated with heavy metals. And I personally always like to go to the heavy hitters in minerals. Oxygen, copper, iodine, things like that. And then you're also relieving an underlying mineral deficiency when you do go to these minerals, these potent minerals. And a lot of the times when you're doing herbs, you're always going to the bathroom and you're going forcefully. And that's going to maybe dehydrate you. Mess with your minerals and electrolytes. But if they do have, for short term, yes, they can be very beneficial. I'm just saying, not the herb. The herb is not to blame, but the heavy metal content that is in them nowadays, right? And then another thing, the last one I'm going to touch on that's beneficial for parasites is diatomaceous earth. It's used in farming. But that's not food grade when it's used in farming. You want to make sure you get the food grade. And basically, what's diatomaceous earth? It's just a naturally occurring substance made from fossil remains of microscopic algae called diatoms. So it's mainly silica, so it's going to be great for your skin. And it's a mineral found in rocks. Now, it's commonly used for not only parasites, but pest control. When you take it out the container, it's going to be powder. You don't want the powder. You don't want to inhale that because the lungs can be sensitive to it. So what I do, I cover my nose. I mix it with a wooden spoon. You want to make sure it's wooden, it's not metal, because it could come in contact with metal. It could come into contact with metal. So you want to use a wooden spoon. Start slow if you're not used to it. And so when I'm talking about diatomaceous earth. Okay, so that's what it is. And basically, diatomaceous earth, it has sharp edges. Okay, so it has these tiny little sharp edges that can cause physical damage to parasites. Not to you, but to parasites. So when you ingest it, the tiny abrasive particles of the DE, or diatomaceous earth, can scrape against these parasites, causing them to become dehydrated and eventually die. Okay, so that's diatomaceous earth. It's a mineral from the earth, and it's good for your skin because it has a good level of silica. Okay, and parasites don't like it. Sometimes people would put, if you mix it, because I don't like leaving the powder around the house. You know, if you have pets or whatnot, they can inhale it. If you mix it with water and just kind of put it around where you don't want parasites to go, that would be a good thing. And yeah, so basically that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions. Just put it in the chat, and we'll be answering your questions on parasites. Let me know. How do I do this? Let me. And also, I have more pictures for you guys. I think I should. Did I show you guys these pictures? I think I had. I thought I brought out more pictures. I think I had more pictures, but I didn't bring them out. Darn it. Anyway, that's cool. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions. And I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So today's topic was parasites. If you just joined us, and we talked about what parasites are, where they come from, and how to get rid of them. Okay, so someone's asking how long does it take to clear the body of parasites? Now, it really depends. For example, just say somebody's constantly with their same diet and they're constantly eating raw sushi, but they want to cleanse at the same time. That's going to take a while. And with someone who's just going to go on a clean, fresh diet, or live it, I should say, let's say it could take about anywhere, and it depends on the type of parasite too. Okay, so it could take anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months. It really depends, because sometimes you have it lodged in and it's a matter of scraping it out of a certain organ, and it could take a while, and it could take a short while. Depends on the amount of parasites per person. And you know, you want to make it like a life change in terms of preventing, taking measures, and it could be 2 weeks to 6 months, around that. Depends on one's diligence and so forth. That was a great question. Any other questions? Let me know. Okay, well, this video will be uploaded, so if there's any other questions, you can always type it in the comments, and I'm more than happy to answer anyone's questions. And thank you so much for joining me today. Take care, everyone.